going to quickly tie up some feathers today. Just going to quickly do the rig body. I'm going to use the iCast Crystal Clear, which is 0.0mm. That's in £70. So once again, I'm just going to. It's a lousy day outside. I've just been doing plenty of cooking today and doing a bit of a batch cook and a catch and cook. So I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter snoods. So good arms. That's it. About 4 foot. Then what you're going to need is a rig clip. The rig clip. 5 turn. Chucks off blood. Tuck it under. Pull. Cinch it down. It's a lousy day today. I've got some rig pullers. Just gently pull that. You don't want to go too mad because it will cut into your hand. And then the other side, just do exactly the same. I've got a swivel on this side and a quick change link, so I can slip on a bomb, the different lures, whatever you want to use. Make sure it goes back through the eye. I'm just going to stand on that and then pull this tight. Your ring puller. Pull that down. Trim that off quickly. And that's the main rig body done. So that's going to be the bottom, and that's going to be the top. For the feathers, I'm just going to be using, I've got these Mustad Shawnagasi hooks, size 1. Nice bar on them, really strong. I'm not going to go too big with these ones, I'm going to keep them a little bit smaller and a little bit shorter. Again, I've got the iCast Crystal Clear in £40. I was using like 18 and 25, but I like the stiffer line, especially with a shorter snood. It just stops the tangling, keeps it stiffer, creates a sort of natural boom. So I'll just be tying this on. Well, I've just got some mixture of feathers here, some whites, blues, greens. It's going to be, I've got 5 of them there, 5 hooks. Again, this wants to be a lot longer than you think because it's got to go down. I'm going to use a carp style knotless knot. So I've been whipping it about 16 times. I'm going to go down and then back up. So this longest bit, you want about, I'd say 15-16 inches. And I'm going to use the 40 pounds iCast. So what you need to do is go up under. Now you can blob this end bit if you want. I'll do that later. It's supposed to be quite short because this is, you're going to just trim that off anyway. Just down to level with the point. Start where the hook is. And work your way back. You try and pull that as tight as you can. That's 16. That's nice and firm. To keep this, don't let go of this, keep it really, really tight. You need to go back up through the eye. So you need a decent eye on the hook. Just pass that line back through. I'll bring that back round in a second. pull that down, pull that tight. You can use your big puller. And then we'll put some finishing tinsel and stuff on that later on. Going to pull that really tight. And just rearrange this. So that's going to sit like that. And that's one done for now. So I'm just going to do like a bit of head on here, or just a bit of bling. It's got a bit of gold, which is what you use for wrapping, I think what it is, wrapping presents, or some description, I don't know what it's called. I think there's a label thing, so you stick the labels on. Just make a little loop, and just push it. A fairly sized loop, because you want your line to pass back through this loop. And just put it here. Then you need to whip. We'll be a bit closer. Whip down the shank. Let's get the line out of the way. I find it these days much easier to just do it by hand rather than using a machine. I've got the device there. Once, twice. Just loosen it first, for about 3 or 4 turns, and tighten it down. Keep it tight all the time, don't look at it. Yeah, now you can start pulling it. Back under. Don't do too close, because you've got to get it back through the eye. That's probably enough. We'll go back under the eye. The loop, grab the end tag and this tag, there we go, like I've just done, and then pull down. Pull this tag end down, that's going to pull this tag end up. And that loop disappears up inside, just like that. There you go, that's nice and tight now. You can trim these off if you want, or you can leave them on, it's entirely up to you. I'm going to trim these off. That's going to look like that. Now I'm just going to bling it up a bit more. I've got some of this, whatever it is, nail gel stuff. I think it was about 99p off the bag. Just going to put a bit on this. It's like red glitter gel stuff. Just going to put that over that. Then it needs to go under a UV lighting thing. That's going to look like that. Now I'm just going to bling it up a bit more. I've got some of this, whatever it is, nail gel stuff. I think it was about 99p off the bag. Just going to put a bit on this. It's like red glitter gel stuff. Just going to put that over that. Then it needs to go under a UV lighting thing. This is the third one. Again, make a loop, starting up the closest to the point of the hook or the bend, work down from about 6 or 8 turns. I find it try and keep it close together, so it's almost like you're building a little head. Pull that nice and tight. Bring this tag end up. And you want to go under the loop. But when you pull this, you hold this, pull this tag end, and then as you pull this tag end, the loop, try not to pull the feather, it's going to pull, let go of that loop, keep pulling the tag end, the loop is now going to pull back and go under the loops, keeping this tag. You can pull this tag end as well, and that's formed inside like that. So the loop has gone back underneath. Just give it a real good pull. And I'll try and trim this off really close. And that just ends up like that. Pretty sure the fourth one, just put the line, I'll do it again so you can see, go up under, up through the eye of the hook, pull this down, and what I'm doing is, you're not going to need this bit, so just wet my hand, and just flatten that end, mushroom it off. And that'll stop any potential hook pulls, not that it should pull. Find it easier if you hold the eye of the hook, so you can whip down the shank a lot better. Get that just on the bend of on the bend there, level with the bend, and start whipping down. Down, 13, 15, 16. So really pull that down. And when you come back out, keep it all that tight, keep pulling it tight. You've got to go back up through the bottom of the eye. This is the hardest bit, so I'm just going to push that away. So I want quite thick, stiff line. Push that line through, keep pushing it through. That's coming out there. Keep hold of that so you're not letting anything go loose, and just pull that down. Wrap that around your fingers 2 or 3 times. Get your hook puller. Just pull that down. Again, I'll just show you one more time. Get a bit of tinsel or thread, whatever you're going to use to make the head. Just form a loop, keep it quite big. Get this line out of the way. Put the loop towards the end of the hook. And you want the tag end quite long so you can wrap around it. 10 times, that should be enough. At the end of that line, push it back under the loop. Now keeping hold of the tag, move this bottom tag down and let that loop, get my hand out of the way, finger there, you'll see this loop here, start to pull and there, and gone up inside. But we've got all our feathers tied. Now we've got to put them onto the main rig body. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, what you need to do, I always start at the bottom, and I always sort of, they're roughly all the same size, but I will try to pick the smallest one, or looks the smallest feather, towards the bottom, and then getting bigger as I go up, or if they're all the same size, it doesn't matter. So you want a couple of inches, just all you need to do is simple overhand loop, but don't put it down, just leave the loop. And it's just like that. So you want 4 inches. Now for the feather, the line needs to go up above the top of the loop, and then you want to get this as short as you can, really, because it will, as you put it down, it will lengthen by double. So what we're doing is pushing that loop a bit further up the line. Yeah, that's fine. So you want, well, give yourself a couple of inches, and then the tag end, what you just put through the loop, you need to make another loop, and now you need to go round through the loop and through round the loop, and through the main line as well, 3 times more. Keep that main line tight. So you need to make a simple overhand loop, but don't put it down all the way, just wet it for about 4 inches from the bottom, and push this new line through. And you want to give yourself about an inch, because it'll double up, it'll double in length. Now form a loop over the top of the main line and go around 4 times. 1, keep that main line tight. 2, 3, 4. That's plenty. Just moisten the line and pull it down tight. Now you can close this loop, the main loop, on the rig body. So get the rig body line, pull that line tight. Now this, you pull down tight. And as you see, it's doubled at least. So you need to make a simple overhand loop, but don't put it down all the way, just wet it for about 4 inches from the bottom, and push this new line through. And you want to give yourself about an inch, because it'll double up, it'll double in length. Now form a loop over the top of the main line and go around 4 times. 1, keep that main line tight. 2, 3, 4. That's plenty. Just moisten the line and pull it down tight. Now you can close this loop, the main loop, on the rig body. So get the rig body line, pull that line tight. Now this, you pull down tight. And as you see, it's doubled at least, but that's not touching there, which is brilliant. That's what you want. Okay, pull that loop tight. Pull that down. Making trim that off. Again, quickly show you. So again, probably about 6 inches away, 6-7 inches away. When you do this, just fold this bottom one up, so you know your next one can't be any longer than that, otherwise it'll start touching. Get this new line, push it through the loop. I'm going to do this one really close. And when you're doing this, And that's on the last one. If you try and keep the loop, what you're making, as close to this loop, because if you do it up here, then it pulls down longer. So do this loop, pinch it, hold. Those two loops are pretty much touching. So when I pull it down, it's not going to pull down too far. And then 4 times through. 1, 2, 3. 3 is probably enough. I'll go 4. Keep the line out of the way, keep it tight. And 4. Just wet the line, pull that down tight, and close the loop of the rig body. Now grab the tag end. This and pull it down. There we go. And see how much that lengthens up. I mean, that was as tight as I can get it, as close as I can get it, but that's bang on perfect. Okay, the final one I'll just show you again. Get the main rig line. I'm going to leave that about bang in the middle. Make a loop. Moisten the line. Pass it through twice, just wet it, just pass it down, keep going, keep going, keep going, pull it down. Get the rig line, go up through the bottom eye, go up to where you want it, down through the top eye. I think I could do some new eyes. Figure of 8. Take the rig line, pass it through the bottom loop, go up, then down, through the top eye, so it's like that. Put it up there. Now with the rig line, with the snood line, sorry, make a loop. 3 times is plenty. We'll go 3 this time. Otherwise it starts folding up. 3. Just moisten it. Now close this loop. Get the rig line and close the loop up. Like that. Get the feather. Pull the tag end. Now pull the feather down, get your rig tire, pull the line, pull that down tight, pull that line, tune this up, and that's all 5 feathers put on now. So I'll show you how that looks. I'll get a weight. And that's it. I just put a ball weight on there just for demonstration purposes, but that's basically it. That's the finished rig. You'll see them. That attaches to swivel on your end of your rod, and then that will just pull in like that. Quick, easy, simple. Doesn't cost a lot. Bit of time, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything you want to know, any comments, drop them below. And I'll see you again in another video. Take care. Cheerio.